Alright, so for lab 2, I'm going to be taking a 200 gram weight. I made a tape measurement type thing. And basically I have heated paper, I have it folded in half. I'm going to be putting it in between this sparker here, and then I'm going to be letting it fall through. And it's going to burn some holes in here. And with those burned holes, I have this device set to 60 hertz. So a hertz is a 1/2 second. So in 1 second, this is going to spark 60 times. And so that means that the spacing between the burn marks I get on my paper is going to be 1/60th of a second. And so I'm going to drop this through and get some burn marks. So let's see what that ends up looking like. So I'm going to push this button. So I dropped it, and that wasn't a very good drop, but we can see some of the data here. So we have a really dark spot. That's where it was while I was holding it in place, and we can see that spots are separated out and they get further apart as it goes on. So the problem with this data set is my next hole, it goes from there to there, when in reality there should have been some in between here. So I'm going to need to do this multiple times. In the end, I'm going to end up needing 5 different data sets, and I will have those measurements there. And for that, I'll have a separate video explaining, or the next part of the video explaining how do I go from that data set and how do I interpret it. So let's just keep watching for that. All right, so this is a better data set. I started writing in numbers and it looks a little messy, but here we can see the points, they separate out and they continue onwards or in a pretty much straight line. So because it's folded, it's replicated. So on this side, I've taken these dark spots in them and I've kind of put a line in them and I tried to connect them. I didn't quite have my ruler straight, so this last one's not there. And so I'm putting the distances between the 2 tick marks to the side, and I'm alternating sides between them. So I'm using this particular ruler here. So I'm using the centimeter side. So with the centimeter side, it has the millimeter as the smaller tick mark. So that's what I'm using to measure between these points. So when it comes to doing the data set in the table, you need to add from the first point, you need to add to whatever point you happen to look at. So if I'm looking at the 3rd point, so this is 0, 1, 2, 3, I would need to add 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters, and 3 millimeters. And I will need to convert that to meters because I'm looking at gravity in terms of meters per second squared, not millimeters per second squared. So that's how you're going to go through and do this data set. I will have 5 of these done for you to have the numbers and do the data for.